You get the idea. Good morning. It was so nice to hear all the chatter that was going on before we started, and it made me wonder, is that because everybody had an extra hour of sleep? Did you actually get an extra hour, or did you wake up, or did your body say, no, it's time to get up at your regular time? But we all got here, and that's a good thing. Welcome to our spiritual home, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tarpon Springs. My name is Elaine Brooks, and I'm happy to serve as worship associate today. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an older white woman. I try and leave out the older part, but my body reminds me that's accurate, with brown hair, brown eyes, and I'm wearing a shirt today that has flowy sleeves, and Betty pointed out to me that it has circles on it. And circles are our theme today, and I didn't even realize that when I put it on. So it must have been some subconscious thing that said, this is what you need to wear. We want to acknowledge that here at the church, we are on the lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole peoples. We are a church of many welcomes and offer a warm welcome to all of you. We are an open-hearted, open-minded, liberal community for all ages, promoting spiritual growth, social justice, and the arts. To learn more about events, our church calendar is on our website, uutarpon.org, or we'd be happy to talk with you during coffee or during the potluck. Actually, it's the potluck today. For those present with us in the building, we have connection cards, and if you fill those out, if you'd like to fill those out, they're in the pews near the hymnals. We can stay in touch with you. We also have small cards to write any joys or sorrows. At the end of our service today, people share joys and sorrows that they have. And if you would like to write one down and have it read, you have that option and you can put it in the collection basket. Today's service was initially planned by Judy Pickett, but Judy is not feeling well, and so our community will provide the service today. So please send some good thoughts to Judy. And our music will be provided by our music director, Bonnie Whitehurst, and we will now sing hymn number 1017 in the teal hymnal, We Are Building a New Way.
Without these, this world will die. Good morning. Our opening words this morning. I'm Betty Clark, one of the members of this lay-led service today. I have white, I don't have to tell you I'm old, with white hair that show ear length, hazel eyes, and I do not need to wear glasses. I'm wearing a cream-colored lace top with an orange jacket and a purple and orange shirt. I serve on the Board of Trustees. Today's services will be lay-led. Dallas Riggan, Kathy Hopkins, myself. We'll also have testimonials by Greg Rosasco, Charlie and Jean Nelson, Pat Donahue, Dallas, and myself. This morning, we're going to have a follow-up from Pastor Patti's sermon last week called 10 Dimes. And we welcome many gifts of stewardship from this community with gratitude. These gifts of time, talent, and treasure that support our mission. This year, we're broadening our continuation of stewardship to include our newly adopted UU values. And these will be shared and represent a different pie. Come, let us be together.
Alex, I think I need some help here with the chalice. Would you please, if you don't mind? I know he knows what he's doing. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow, connect, mature, and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Would you please pay attention, turn your attention to the screen? We strive to look for and encourage the best in each other as we move toward justice, peace, and love for ourselves and the world. And when we fall short, we will seek understanding, reconciliation, and a return to covenant. And our mission statement: we are a liberal community for all ages, promoting spiritual growth, social justice, and the arts.
And at this time, we'll sing number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life.
Today's story is a video from the UUA that gives us a handy way to learn about the UU shared values.
Unitarian Universalism has a set of values, ideas we believe are important. I'm going to help you learn them using my hands. Now, the values can be in any order you like. In this handy way of learning them, each one has a number, so you can follow along with your hands and fingers. We're going to start with the value of transformation. Imagine your fist is a seed. Now slowly unfurl your pointer finger like it's a sprout coming from the seed. Transformation means to adapt to a changing world and to grow spiritually. As your seed grows, it will look like the number 1, and that's how you can remember the first value, transformation. Our next value is equity. Hold up 2 fingers and turn them sideways. See how they kind of look like an equal sign? Equity means that everyone should be treated with inherent worth and dignity. This makes people feel like equals. That's how you can remember the value of equity. Value number 3 is pluralism. Hold up 3 fingers. Imagine 3 people with different ideas about God and who may have different cultures or experiences. Being able to hold many views at once and learn from each other is the value of pluralism. Our next value is justice. We're going to take our 4 fingers and curl them into a fist and hold it up high. This is a sign of strength. We need to be strong to dismantle racism and fight for justice. Value number 5 is generosity. Hold out your hand as though you are giving someone a gift. Generosity means to share the things you have that make a difference to others, like faith, presence, and resources. Our next value is love. Hold up 6 fingers. Use your pointer finger of one hand to trace a heart in the center of your other hand. Love is at the center of all of our values. Love is the power that holds us together. Our 7th value is interdependence. This is just a fancy word that means we're all connected to each other. Hold up 7 fingers. Walk your 2 fingers from one hand over to the palm of the other hand. Kneel them down to take a close look. Do you see how your palm is full of connecting lines like a web? We are connected and depend on one another. That's how you can remember interdependence. Those are our UU values. Remember that love is at the center and runs through all of our values. You carry love and values in your open mind, helping hands, and loving heart. What will you do with your values today?
I gotta get the right.
Now sing Pronoun Peace to usher our children to their program.
She can't hear.
May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Now is the time in our service where we take our offering for the work and welfare of the church. You may mail your offering, go to our website, or place your offering in Sunday's collection. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. That was such a beautiful prelude to our moment of reflection, our silent reflection. Everybody's already kind of settled and quiet. So this is a time where we just take a brief time to be quiet. And I invite you to get comfortable in your seat, as comfortable as you can be, and feel your feet flat on the floor, knowing that beneath the floor, we're grounded in the earth. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do that. If not, just get comfortable in whatever way works for you. And just focus on the comfort that we find in our connection. We've probably all been a little bit stressed lately, and so just feel the connection that we have. So as you breathe in connection, and as you breathe out any anxiety you may be carrying, even if it's just for now. And I invite you to take another breath or two. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. And just look around at the people that we share this space with, appreciating the connection that we have.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Hopkins. My job today is to explain how we came up with pies as our theme for our stewardship drive this year. So Jean was making fun of me earlier, so this is payback. I'm the one that didn't mess up the 50-50 last time. Well, the story starts back last summer when the UUA had the General Assembly and adopted the shared values language. So Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition that has changed in many ways from the original Christian roots of Unitarianism and Universalism heritages. And it continues to evolve today. So just this year, in the summer, the UUs voted to replace the existing 7 principles and 6 sources language in our bylaws with language describing Unitarian Universalism through the shared values. And to review them again using our adult language this time and not necessarily our hands. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where we all feel welcome and can thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. And equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. And in the center is love, the power that holds us all together. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. The UUA arrived at this description of UUism after a multi-year process of discernment and discussion, writing and revision, and eventually took a final democratic vote. The review process is mandated by the UUA bylaws to happen every 15 years, and the language describing Unitarian Universalism faith has changed multiple times over the course of our history. There's a wealth of information on the UUA website with the final adopted language of Article 2, which is what this is called, that includes a description of the shared values. So in conjunction with the language change, the UUA adopted 2 official images for shared values. One is the atom form, and that's what they call it. It's a Venn diagram that has love at the center, common to all the values. The second image is the flower form. It has each of the petals of the flower extending from the center, which is love. These images have been made available by the UUA for UU congregations to use. And sure enough, when you open up your stewardship package, you'll see we have these images in the stewardship package this year. So the UUA welcomes additional image designs. Artists can submit their designs to Kiana Nabobi at uua.org for a cross-staff team to consider. Our very own Jean Nelson envisioned a third design. Being potluck-minded as she is, she came up with the pie form. She shared her vision with 6 pies in the circle tied to the love pie in the center. Wouldn't that make a great potluck, she said. We could use that to kick off our stewardship drive. So following Jean's vision, we came up with an image of our own. And that, my friends, is how Get a Piece of the Pie at UUCTS became the theme for this year's stewardship drive. Thank you, Jean. Good job.
And at this time, we will sing hymn number 131 in the Gray Book, Love Will Guide Us, number 131.
This is the part that we normally start our sermon. So in lieu of a sermon, since we had a little bit of a short notice this week, we chose folks from our congregation to come and talk about how the values impact them and their membership. So as we can continue our discussion of stewardship and gratitude, we are here to some of our members that are experienced with these values and to share them with the congregation. We are committed to support our mission, which we read earlier. I first would like to call up Greg, then followed by Jean and Charlie Nelson, and then Pat Donahue, Dallas, and myself.
Good morning. When I was asked if I might say a few words about why I support UUCTS with my energies, time, and financially, and also with my expertise at showing videos, phew, I didn't hesitate to say yes, even though I've spoken in years past and didn't really have anything new particularly to say. However, recently, I was reading the newsletter from the American Humanist Association, and something that the executive director, Fish Stark, said really resonated with me. Mr. Stark wrote this about his organization. We've got a lot of people who are good at thinking. We are great at being a forum for discussion, debate, and enlightenment. But people join organizations and commit themselves to communities because of how they want to feel. He goes on to encourage humanists to do a better job of telling people and showing people that humanism can make them feel confident, purposeful, and positive. As I have shared in previous presentations, the UUCTS I have known since 2009 has had more than its share of rough times. Thankfully, we have always managed to recover, rebuild, and rededicate ourselves to the mission and good work of the congregation. Time and again, our little community has shown that this is a place where I can indeed feel confident, purposeful, and positive. That is why I continue to give my time, talent, and treasure. It feels right for me. I hope this is true for you too. Thanks for your attention.
Good morning. I'm Charlie Nelson. This is my wife, Jean. Most of you know us. We're always around somewhere. And we have an older couple with gray hair, glasses, black shirts. Jean has a cat on it because she's a childless cat lady. But contrary to what some believe, she does not want other people to be miserable. Now, Jean and I have been UUs for more than 18 years. This is the second longest commitment I have made after our marriage of 32 years. Being raised a Catholic, it was instilled in me at an early age that that was the one true religion. All others were heretics. My family was shuffled off to church, so shall I say, religiously. We were to receive communion and confession. My father, who was not a Catholic, had to come along because I would faint in church every week, and he would have to carry me out. Do you think the universe was trying to tell me something? Catholicism did not work for me, and my entire adult life I was unchurched, until that is around New Year's of 2006. I decided to find a church community. My search led to many denominations, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Methodist, etc. The only difference I could see from being a Catholic was the spelling.
Now, to tell my side of the story. I grew up in a small coal mining town in south central Pennsylvania. The town had 2 churches and 8 bars. We had a 2-room schoolhouse. Grades 1 to 3 were in one room, and grades 4 to 6 were in another. What I remember from that time is getting my older sister suspended because I told the nun my dad and her watched Wagon Train instead of saying the rosary with my mom and me. As an adult, the only time I went to church after that was when I visited my mom and I became an unchurched person. Fast forward to Charlie's New Year's Eve resolution. I wanted to attend a women's energy healing workshop at the UU Church in Lincroft, New Jersey. I suffer from topographical disorientation, which means I have no sense of direction. I make Charlie drive me to the location so I could write down the directions and the landmarks. So Charlie drove me, read a quote on the front door, went home, looked up UU, and it sounded like a good fit. Next Sunday, off we go to church. The minister was on sabbatical. The guest minister was talking about stewardship and to give me your money. And despite this spiel, when we entered the UU there, we found a home.
When we get involved with something, we get involved. And this was true for UUism. We jumped in with both feet. We joined covenant groups. It's a great way to connect. We have led worship workshops on forks over knives and ethics at our New Jersey congregation. My limited carpentry skills led me to becoming buildings chair, and later grounds chair. That has carried over to UUCTS, where I toil to make our sanctuary both inside and out pristine. How did we get here? We migrated to Florida as snowbirds in 2016, purchasing a condo when all we wanted was a rental. Alas, no one would rent to us because we had a cat. Our cat became a very expensive cat. We would never have moved to this area full-time or as snowbirds were there not a UU in the area. UUCTS became our home away from home.
You need love to make a place a home. Let me give you an example of why we give our time, our talent, and treasures to UUCTS, and how we are blessed with love in return using the UUA's Jet Pig and our pie logo, or my pie logo. In March 2023, a couple, Joe and John, had a potluck to try to get some social justice going for the LGBTQIA+ community. Charlie asked if we could attend. This was a taste of equity and a chance to have some fun. At this meeting, I volunteered to take notes. This was tickling my interdependence taste buds with an opportunity to connect to others. Naturally, once I volunteered to take notes, I somehow became the chair of the Rainbow Welcome Circle, tempting me as I gained confidence to sample justice and pluralism. It soon became evident that the Rainbow Welcome Circle needed to expand to anyone who wanted to champion a social justice cause. This put my faith into practice, sampling what transformation is like. Since the social justice always has announcements to make, I took over this job, which led to doing services. Believe me, I discovered new abilities and I grew personally. Throughout our journey, we witnessed the overwhelming generosity of the people here, and they feed us love. This is why we pledge our time, talent, and treasure. So ask yourself, do you want to actively feel good, happy, fulfilled, content, delighted, grateful, peaceful, and joyful? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time to find your home away from home.
I'm Pat Donahue, sometimes known as the Traveler. And I spent many years when Sunday morning was my time to go to the gym and have some time for me, not in church, unless I was visiting my sister in Pennsylvania and then here in Lutz when I went to the UU church with her. So I already knew the framework. But Tampa UU is pretty far from here. So when a friend asked me to join her, I attended a service at the Walton Center. For those of you who weren't there, it is not a beautiful church with paintings and beautiful windows. The building didn't sell this group, the people did. The people were welcoming and open and not at all judgmental. Nobody was telling me what to believe, and everything was discussable. That's not true very many places in Florida. And the first principle was about respect for all, which is critically important to me. I was comfortable and at home with the people, connecting with the people, sharing with the people. The people I'm talking about are you. Eating with the people. Yep, breaking bread together still works. So we have our potluck and our coffee hours regularly. And doing service projects together. We have a variety of social service projects and ways that we give back to help other people. So what does this church mean to me? It means we can have meaningful conversations about our values, the principles, the smooth stones, however you like to think about it. It means we can be thinking together, not thinking alike necessarily, but able to discuss and consider them and think together. Now, as a college leader, thinking together was always a powerful tool when we were trying to get planning underway or lead forth in new projects. So the fact that we naturally come together and think together is very important to me. Our covenant groups, they're starting again soon. Our covenant group is a safe space to share thoughts, feelings, passion, as we ponder the values using different prompts to create different perspective. And periodically, we are challenged through this church to give serious thought to what it means or looks like to live our values, not just to say them, to challenge ourselves and lifelong habits that don't always support the values we believe in. All the values, formerly the principles, are important, but equity is always leaping out to me. It's based on the basic respect for people. And if I learned one core value from my father, that was it. Basic respect for people. We are, as a group and individually, respectful of similarities and differences, respectful of different religions and traditions. Travelers are too. Respectful of different lifestyles, work, education, careers, and respectful of the right to disagree. These meaningful connections enrich my life, so I contribute to the life of UUCTS in many ways. But my stewardship gift means I will continue to have this warm, supportive, open community that I cherish, because all of you make this a special community.
I'm Dallas Riggan. I'm Betty Clark's husband. Betty and I moved here in 2017 from Houston, Texas. And right away, we looked for a UU church to go to. We found the UU Church of Tampa, and we went there for 2 years. It seemed like the thing to do. But then fate took a hand. We met Bonnie Whitehurst at a library function near Land O'Lakes, where we live, and was so impressed with her talents, the many musical instruments she played and knew about, and the history behind them, that it just really stuck with us. So afterwards we talked to Bonnie and found out she's the music director of Tarpon Springs Unitarian Universalist Church. So we looked at each other and went, okay. Anyway, We were very impressed with Bonnie, with her talents, with her voice, the many musical instruments she could play. So we decided to give Tarpon Springs UU a chance. We came to 3 services before COVID hit and shut everything down. But we were so impressed with those 3 services, we continued on Zoom through COVID. Now, for me, as soon as I walked in here and saw the sanctuary and the paintings, I don't know, it was so warm and welcoming and seemed like it just said, this is the place where you belong. The paintings, of course, were a big part of it, and their history. Not only the history and the beauty, but they're just so calming and have such a calming effect and such a soothing effect on you. I really was so very impressed. I think we both were. At the coffee hour afterwards, we found that everyone was so friendly, so ready to welcome us, so ready to talk to us, and I believe one of those was Barbara Kostreva, which I fell in love right away. Later on, as we went to the church, we discovered that the social justice and the welcoming congregation made a big difference to us, the way the social justice is carried out here. Now, also I will say the equity and the democracy and the acceptance, that's a big word for me, the acceptance of this church and its congregation made a big difference to me. And of course, during 2020 COVID, we decided this is where we need to be, and we joined during COVID. Church was closed, the minister showed up, and we joined the church here, had pictures taken, and here we are. So we can thank Bonnie Whitehurst for introducing us to this church, and you can blame her for getting us here. Thank you all, and keep up the good work.
What Dallas didn't tell you is that not only did, Reverend Christina and Kathy Hopkins and Barbara met us here at church. We were all masked up. And if you can imagine, we all stood not just 6 feet from each other, but we stood 20 feet because it was in the height of COVID. But after we talked to Barbara, she said, I want you to come and sign the book. And so that's what we did. I've chosen pluralism as a value to address today. For many years as a nursing educator, I taught cultural competency to nurses and other healthcare professionals. I learned all about cultures across the world and the sacred beliefs that stem from each one of their religions. It actually makes one more comfortable when they are accepted for their own religious beliefs. Now, not too many UUs sitting here in this congregation, or those across the country at the same time, were born in a UU family. Usually you become a UU. Now, both Dallas and I were raised as Baptists, and even before I was 18, I knew when I had the opportunity, I was going to seek another direction. So I found that direction in 1970 at a UU church in Charlottesville, Virginia, when I was a student there at University of Virginia. Over the last 50 years, I have lived in cities where there's universities that draw both students and professors from all over the world. I've known UUs who were Native American, Buddhists from Thailand and Japan, Hindus from India, and those that were pagan and Wiccan, and of course, many Catholics and Protestants who have been drawn to our religion. Each one of us learn to appreciate each other's former and current beliefs and are accepted that we can offer an open, sacred space to all. We come from many theologies, and our church provides a welcome to all religious backgrounds and cultural backgrounds as well. I hope that if you're not a member, that you will find something here that we can offer you. And also speaking to the members, as we enter into our stewardship part of our year, that you will reach deep into your heart and not only give money, but we're interested in your time and talents. Thank you. Too many papers. With so many delicious pies awaiting us in the social hall, our closing words will be brief today. We hope that each one of you will make a pledge to support the work and the welfare of this church for the year of 2025. If you haven't already done so, I'll remind you, as Jean said, to please pick up your pledge packet on the table near the cultural in the social hall. If you cannot find an envelope with your name on it, then there are extra ones that are available. There are many opportunities ahead of us in 2025, and your support will make it possible. Remember, you do not need to be a member to pledge. Be generous.
We extinguish this chalice to remind us love is the center. As we explore, rest, and engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see around us is cold ashes, love